Hey, what's up everyone? I'm Jimmy. Welcome back to That's What I Call Soccer. Real quickly, I'm going to show you a few tactics used by advanced fantasy managers called the Switcheroo, the Auto-roo, and the Keeperoo. These tactics are a little confusing to understand at first and do require a little bit more attention during the weekends while matches are being played, but if you're able to implement them, I think you'll see higher scores week in and week out. There's a couple rules in MLS Fantasy that are different from other fantasy games that are really important to remember when considering these tactics being used. The first of which is that you can make unlimited substitutions and transfers in your team up until that individual's player's match has begun. But once that player's match has begun, you won't be able to make any changes to that player. You can't sub them in and out of your starting 11 or your bench, and you can't transfer them in and out for another player. You're stuck with that player until the game week is over. In addition to that, if a player from your starting 11 doesn't play for whatever reason, the game will automatically substitute in the player from your bench with the highest point total. With those rules in mind, there's ways we can manipulate our lineup in order to see points before they actually count towards our score, which allows us to make the decision on if we want to keep that score or take a chance on another player who might have a higher score that week. Quick disclaimer, this won't be my team that I'm running for game week 1, but I've set my team up in a way that you could utilize all three of those tactics this game week. So let's take a look at the Keeperoo first. I've got Yarborough from Colorado in my starting 11, and I've got Braza from NYCFC on my bench. Braza from NYCFC plays the first game of the week at 4:30 p.m. on Saturday against Nashville. Because their game will end before any other game kicks off, I'd be able to see Braza's points and make a decision on whether I want to keep Braza's points or take another shot at points and keep Yarborough in my starting 11. If NYC do end up doing well and keep a clean sheet and Braza gets 7, 8, 9, 10 points, then I'll want to keep that score. What I can do is transfer out Yarborough before his game starts and transfer in somebody from Chicago who's on a bye week, thus allowing Braza's points to be added to our point total. So all we'd have to do here is take out Yarborough, go to Chicago, and let's put in the cheapest one so we can have some money left over in our bank to readjust our team and use elsewhere. So now that Richie's in and he's not going to play, Braza's points will automatically be added to our total for the game week. Next, let's look at an auto-roo situation. You can see here that I've got Gallagher from Austin on my starting 11, Reagan from Seattle on my starting 11, and then Burks from Chicago who's on a bye week in my starting 11. I've also got Ibiaga from Dallas and Mahar from Nashville on my bench. The way this is set up with Burks being in my starting 11 and being on a bye week, because he won't play, the game will automatically sub in the player on my bench with the most point total. Because the game says you have to have 3 defenders in your formation, in this certain setup, the game will automatically sub in a defender, but if I had one more defender in there, it would take the player with the highest point total on the bench. It wouldn't necessarily have to be a defender. What's nice about the Auto-roo is you don't really have to pay attention as much as you would with the Switcheroo or the Keeperoo. You can leave it as is and let the game automatically sub in the player from your bench with the highest point total. But if both Ibiaga and Mahar don't do well, we've got some money left in our bank and we can take another shot by transferring out Burks and transferring in a player who's yet to play this game week. Ibiaga plays pretty late in the day on Saturdays, so the only options you'll probably have for this will be a player from either Colorado or Seattle. And for the sake of discussion, let's just throw in someone like Keegan Rosenberry from Colorado. Alright, and lastly, let's take a look at the Switcheroo. I've set up the forwards here to illustrate the Switcheroo. As I've said before, NYC kicks off the season with the first game at 4:30 p.m. on Saturday. Because Talles Magno from NYCFC is on our bench, and we've got Opoku and Heber who don't play until Magno's game is ended, we'll see Magno score before Opoku and Heber's match kicks off. If Talles Magno does well, what we can do is take out Heber and replace him with a forward from Chicago who's on a bye week, and that way Talles Magno's points will be added to our point total at the end of the game week. And again, because of that move, we've got some extra money left in our bank, which we can use elsewhere to upgrade positions where we see fit. Maybe we can move Opoku to Brandon Vasquez, and we'd still have $2 million in our bank to upgrade someone like Moreno to someone like Evander. I hope you guys found this useful, and I hope you can use this to improve your scores week in and week out throughout the season. If you've got any questions, please feel free to drop them below in the comments, and I'll be happy to help you out. Be on the lookout for a full team review coming tomorrow. Make sure to like and subscribe, and thanks for tuning in. Bye.
Bye.